Today, I have a very special guest, good friend, creative comrade, as wonky and roly suitcase as they come, but like in the world of art, she is somebody who I think lives and breathes art and understands what it means for art to be a moving experience.
I did have an art baby. I did just have an art baby.
You did. You totally did. She does it all the time, by the way. So y'all watching, you're gonna see kind of like visual Tourette's. Because people listening won't, I mean, you do like audio stuff too.
Yeah.
But
totally
the people
do.
watching, you're gonna be like, what's she doing? She's a dancer. She embodies movement. She does it a lot. All right. So we're gonna just start this conversation. So, Donna Crump, dancer, choreographer, actress,
artistic director.
Yeah, go ahead. You fire them off.
I mean, you said it all. Dancer, choreographer, performer, actress, beautiful Piscean goddess. Cue the fish. Yeah, anything movement, you name it, I do it.
So I'm here right now in the studio. But how do we know each other? What's our starting point for meeting?
I had just moved into Blue Plate, which is an artist loft.
Yeah, shout out Blue Plate.
It's
an artist loft that we were the inaugural round of artists to live in the space. My sister, Indigo, who I just mentioned earlier, her and her husband, Janiro Jarrell, included Rock and Marianne. Yeah, there's a ton of people. The first wave was pretty awesome.
We were. And I would always see you walking outside. And I would just always think like, oh, hey, what's up, girl? What's going on? But like, I don't feel like we ever like spoke. Maybe we spoke in like passing, like, the normal New Orleans, like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
or something
really
like that.
Truly,
You just got back? Or...
No. I moved into Blue Plate, I want to say April. I want to say like end of April.
And then you left or something?
And then I left to go on tour. So when you saw me, like the month and a half before I left to go on tour, I was in like, I'm prepping for an international tour. I just moved into a spot, girl. I moved into Blue Plate with like $12 in my bank account. Like, it was those days. So yeah, you probably did. It probably was a hello type of thing. I think you saw Indigo and Jarrell more because they were on your side of the building, and y'all both had dogs.
Like, it's funny you say this is supposed to be happening in your kitchen or in your home, but we're here. We initially bonded over some food.
Yeah.
You remember what we ate?
If it was us, it was probably wings and like cinnamon rolls.
Okay.
Or pancakes. No, it couldn't have been pancakes yet.
It was fried Chinese rice.
Yeah, I was about to say it was like Manchu
boneless
wings.
Chicken or something in the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls.
It was cinnamon rolls. Yep.
Yes, ma'am, all on one plate.
Yep. I do remember.
For sure.
So we met at Blue Plate, which was this artist think tank in the 2010s era. 2012.
What was the 11?
I'm saying 2010.
Yes,
2010 to the 2020s.
For sure.
In that time, you have gone from like solo dolo free agent ninja kind of vibe to like mom 2 times over and
totally
possibly on
kids.
Your way to putting a ring on it.
Oh yeah,
I mean the ring is on it.
The ring is totally on it.
No, I was not about to say.
Oh, I was about to say, can you just?
You look scared, girl. You was like,
I was like, wait, can we cut that? Yeah,
No. I'm just talking about the levels,
y'all, please.
Right, the levels. And so, I have all kinds of guests from all over. Let the audience know whether you are native to New Orleans, whether you were visiting New Orleans, or relocated, or a transplant.
Fantastic. I am a New Orleans native, born, raised, and stayed uptown New Orleans. I've been there all my life until moving to Texas when did I move? In 2017?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
So
lived in other places, but it's always been like
you a New Orleans hometown is New Orleans.
Definitely.
What school did you go to in New Orleans?
isn't that the golden question
That's always
ever?
the thing.
It's like, that's how you distinguish whether you're from New Orleans. And I'm like, what school did you go to?
Yeah, because like I know that having not grown up in New Orleans, like that definitely makes the difference.
Oh, totally.
Because I've been here, I'm here in New Orleans. I forget, I'm in Houston, but I've been out there 15 years. So it's a hard question for me to answer when people ask like, well, where are you from? It's like, well, because you know, like my people from New Orleans, so it's like, well,
you should just like pick a high school, adopt it, and just roll with it.
Yeah, you have to let me know pointers on what high school you think I would have best.
Right.
Because New Orleans is also small, so
yeah, definitely.
You didn't go to no.
And very, very possessive, very territorial.
So I don't,
right. So I went to McMain.
Okay.
And I also shout out Mustangs.
Were you there when Wayne was there, or a little after?
I was there, I think, a year to 2 years after he was there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And also NOCA, the New Orleans Center for the Creative Arts.
Shout out NOCA. That's where
dance.
My oldest goes. Nixionic Orita Ray.
Okay.
Who you happen to be his letter recommendation.
Oh, hello,
Shout out
darling.
Donna Crump again for
Shout
coming
that
in
out.
the game.
Yeah, man, get them youth, get them kids in school and stuff. Like, that's what it's about. They're the future.
It's true. It's true. So you went to McMain and NOCA. And you know, for those of you who don't know, NOCA is the arts high school. So what did you major in?
Dance.
Okay.
Yes. So I would do McMain half the day, all your academic classes, and then I would get on the bus, the school bus. It would pick you up, and it would take you to NOCA. Oh, it's a beautiful facility, and I talk to a lot of my colleagues now who went there, and it's just like, man, we really didn't know, like back then, to have that mindset, like we really didn't know what we had. We knew, like, oh, this is cool, like we got it. But like now looking back at that, like, man, like.
You were dancing in high school, clearly. Were you dancing before high school?
Yeah.
Well, how did you get into dance? And can you explain to the rest of the world New Orleans' relationship to dance culturally? From your perspective. You don't have to be the, finite.
So my beautiful queen mother, Debbie, shout out to Deb.
Shout out Debbie.
Yeah, she put me in dance when I was 4. I mean,
she just saw like you were a performer.
I'm gonna assume so. No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Not
nobody in your family.
Nobody in my family is a performer.
My dad Anna in dance.
You said, did she put Anna in dance? Yes, for a little bit.
Okay.
That wasn't her thing.
But look,
she went to the left.
But she's a dope ass dancer.
Oh yeah, whole nother way. See, so it comes back full circle. Yeah, that's wow, totally. Yeah, so no, nobody in my family was like a dancer. She put me in dance. I was 4, and you're a little girl. You do dance in school, and you go and you learn your ballet and your little jazz, and you shake your hips and you put your tutu on, and so it wasn't until I was 9 or 10 I started like training intensively.
Gotcha.
And I mean like 2 to 3 times a week, ballet 2 hours, at least 2 to 3 hours, those 2 to 3 times a week. And that's like on top of performances and auditions. That's
so
like
at that
extensive.
age, were you looking at dance as a possible career, or you just
after I did my first Nutcracker performance on stage, because I did it with Ballet High Cell, which at the time they used to have the Nutcracker at the Sanger.
Oh,
the Sanger
wow.
The Sanger Theater.
So you were a kid performing at the Sanger?
Exactly.
That's
yes, ma'am.
awesome.
So after my first Nutcracker performance, I remember the Sugar Plum Fairy, the lead girl, being a black girl, and she was maybe 17 or 18, but she was a black girl. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, I want to be that. That's what I want to be. And I just remember, like, after that first performance, I'm like, I want to be a dancer.
And
Shout
it
out
was
to
the Sugar Plum Fairy for starting the course of Donna's life.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the real Sugar Plum Fairy is Debbie.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, and then it just went on through, like, elementary school. I would do, extracurricular, because that was on the weekends or throughout school. And then as we started getting to, like, closer to high school, it was like, okay, you have to audition to go to NOCA. So it was like, okay, still going to ballet 2 to 3 times a week. So let's just go and audition. Once I got into NOCA, it was
over.
It was
'Cause then
on.
you
That's
got-
like for a
'cause that
child.
was like the concentration. You got
Oh
to-
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
For someone that young in the 9th grade, like first going to high school, like high school is shock
know.
enough in itself,
I
you know.
know.
And then like it's like a miniature conservatory
Yeah, it
for
is.
high school
It
students.
really is. It
So
really is.
I mean, it along with other teachers, it's just like discipline constantly.
Yeah.
I've always said this. I literally, from elementary school to high school to college to now my professional life, I've literally always had the best teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Like the best of the best of the best. Were we rich? Hell no.
Yeah, but
Were we poor? I mean, my mom would be like, girl, we poor.
Yeah,
but you know, like, did we have money like that?
Yeah.
No. I remember ballet. Ballet is not, those dance lessons are not
girl,
cheap. Like,
do not play. So I danced all these years, and then when I got to be 16, I was like, I'm done. And my parents spent, since we were talking about how expensive dancing is, my parents probably spent thousands.
Oh, for sure.
dollars.
Easy.
And if it wasn't thousands of dollars, it was like labor and time.
Oh gosh.
Like you know how many? Because my
grandmother, God bless her soul, was like, well, she was my personal chauffeur.
Yeah.
Like from uptown New Orleans to downtown New Orleans, uptown, downtown, cross through, like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
So when Katrina hit, this is why I'm bringing up this story. When Katrina hit, when my parents moved back to New Orleans in 2002, they brought a bunch of stuff with them. Unbeknownst to me, my dad had brought all my dance trophies, right? So he had the dance trophies stored in my granny's back house. Everything got destroyed, of course, right? I crawled through the main house, got the things that I thought were important. When my parents got to New Orleans to check on stuff, this man crawled through the back house, unearthed these trophies.
He paid money for them trophies.
He brought them to my house. He's like, yeah, I got these out of Granny's house. He's like, I don't
know what you want me to do with that.
He was like, I don't think they got moldy because it's not like wood. He's like, just
I don't care what you do with them, but here they yours.
Like, they're yours. I was like, damn, I don't want these. He's like, all the money I spent, you gonna take these trophies. So I have these dance.
Strangely enough, I feel like my mom did the same thing to me. Like, you ain't gonna throw these away.
Yeah,
take them to your own
the
house.
The dance trophies he salvaged out of the back house, and when I say salvaged. For y'all who don't know, in this area of New Orleans, this area got 9 feet of water. So it's stuff that's set in water.
It's over.
But he brought them to me, and he's like, nope, you're going to keep this because I spent all this money. So he's very happy that I'm here this weekend working with you because my parents like to see that I use their investments at some point. So part of this weekend for me was coming out here and like just kind of creatively working because we're in this weird time pandemic wise where it's hard if you're a collaborative artist.
Yeah,
I fancy people know me as a solo artist, but if you know me,
you're down to definitely
I'm just the collaborative person, right? So what has been your process?
I definitely would say within like the first maybe what
I know, huh?
Like the first 4 months, like, wait, what is today?
Like
what time is it? Right. What warp are we in? Like the first 4 months, it was like, it's almost like creative depression.
Yeah. Were you rolling hard before that? Like, were you getting a lot churned out or had a lot of creative ideas before that?
I had a lot of creative ideas, more so that I was like in pre-production, like just trying to get ideas and storyboards and feel boards and, I like to touch stuff. All kinds of stuff like that together. But it's like it was a cycle. So like the first cycle was just like, oh, okay, we just not doing nothing for
a little bit.
Okay, cool. Second. And then the next cycle was just like, okay, wait, what is going on? I have to do what? You want me to teach a dance through a computer? Well, how? No, I don't want. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a cool thing? Well, of course, yeah. Now it's. I mean,
it's what it is.
Right. Yeah. So it's either like you gonna stay right here, you gonna like run forward.
So where are you at with it now? Because I think everybody's had like this kind of settling period where it took us. Like I told you the other day, it took me like almost 2 months to kind of just catch up on rest.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still in that phase. I'm still there.
Well, you also have 2 young children.
I do.
and a husband, because they wear you out too.
They don't go to sleep.
They
I mean, they sleep. Who am I
Yeah.
talking to? Nobody's over here.
Nobody.
See, that's what.
But I do know that it took a minute for me, and even before the pandemic, I really wasn't in a position where I had the space, the mental real estate to think creatively, because I was really doing the cafe grind, the family grind, like I really think now when I try to map out my day, there's certain things that were part of the regular that it's hard for me now to figure out where it fits in because I feel like I don't have enough time in the day because I've prioritized me, you know? Which, and I'm just now getting into like, I feel like I'm just now getting back into the creative zone. So
me too.
Part of me wanting to come out here was like, oh, okay, like I know Dee's hella isolated in Houston. I know. From your New Orleans culture.
Right, for sure.
Your people.
And let's just be honest. I mean, isolated from, not necessarily from my creativity, but this, like, I came here, I mean, I'm still like fairly new to this huge mega city. So I'm just like, I'm kind of like still carving out my space in like the dance community here, or like kind of like making my own space in the dance community.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, but definitely I'm now in a space of more like more creative space, but now it's just like about making all the connections, tying everything in, and just like bringing it all together. Because I mean, the past year has just been like, join me.
I can't roll my. Oh, you're just. Yeah.
See, yeah. That's 6 sounds.
I like
onomatopoeia.
I like sounds. I like onomatopoeia.
Me too.
So how did choreography come about? Because you could be a dancer, right? But not everybody has the vision.
Okay, so this is actually a very ironic story. Okay. So choreography, for me, from what I felt, and apparently, and for what I knew, apparently I didn't know nothing. Nathan. I didn't know nothing, okay? Because I literally could not stand to choreograph. It really? Was, I don't like to use the word hate, but I was like, I hate choreography.
Because I was going to say, like, you're not always I know you to sometimes get jammed up in making a decision, and choreography is decisions like, all day. It's a sequence of decisions, right?
See the irony? That is crazy.
It is. Like, so you do it well too. So I'm just curious, like, where did that shift happen for you?
The shift definitely happened my senior year.
Did you take a choreo class?
Senior year or junior year at Tulane. So I had to take a dance making class, like choreography. I had to take that maybe 2-3 years or something like that. And I would, you get a prompt, you do the work, whatever. And so it was at the end of like the year, they do these, talks and, this is what you did wrong. This is what you did right this semester, your closeout interview. And so one of my teachers was saying, he was like, your piece that you did for whatever I needed for it. He's like, it was really, really great. He was like, I really think that you have a strong niche for like creating work and just creating work that people want to see. And I'm like,
really?
I'm like, say a word. Right. I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, all right. He was like, I'd really like to see where you would, continue going with it. So from that point on, they said, we want to take your piece that I had just choreographed. I'm just new to this, not true to it yet. We want to submit this to the American College Dance Festival. And so that piece that I choreographed was, now I remember, which was actually a piece about me and my little sister.
Okay.
That was submitted to the College Dance Festival. And we performed it there. And crazy enough, it got selected for the national gala to be performed again in Washington, D.C. Wow. We ended up not going to D.C. to perform because I ended up in Africa somewhere, and my partner ended up in Alaska or something. I was dancing there too, darling.
Must be nice.
Okay. So we had to turn that opportunity down.
You're like DC or Africa?
Africa, right. I'm going to Africa. Right. Back to the motherland.
How was that?
Fantastic.
Where were you in Africa?
I was in Africa in 2008. 2008.
Oh my God.
Choreographing and creating work with Rhodes University, like
awesome.
for their National Arts Festival. So that moment in college from going to that dance festival sparked me choreographing, which then caught the eye of another professor who invited me to come. I was me and another student were the only two students they invited to go to perform professionally in Africa and create work with this university.
And how did you get to Brazil? Because me and you have Brazil in common.
We do. So Jogo, he was not still dancing with the company, but very, heavily tied to the company. He was teaching at Tulane. And his first year teaching at Tulane was my first year attending Tulane.
Oh, got
so
you.
I was in his class. We kind of made that connection.
He was your teacher?
He was my freaking teacher.
That's so funny.
And the second semester, he's like, hey, you really have a lot of potential. What are you doing for the summer? I'm like, well, I like this company. I'm trying to, what you think I ought to be doing for the summer, Can you hook me up? New Orleans we hustlers all day. Come on, give me what you got.
And he busted out Brazil.
And he was like, hey, would you want to study with the company or whatever? And I'm like, I'll take yes for 200, please.
You took your butt out to Brazil.
And I ended up in Brazil.
For how long?
The first time was maybe, I think 3 weeks.
Okay.
But this was 3 weeks of like 9 a.m. to 3 study. I mean, we were partying too, but like it was like the life of a professional dancer, like there.
And so that was your first experience, like professionally dancing, like round the clock. This is what I'm doing.
Well, so I didn't perform with the company. I guess
you just studied, though.
Right? Yes. Yeah. So I'm more like
in terms of the training.
My first professional dance performance, I would say, was with John Allen. He gave me the opportunity. That's who invited me to Africa.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, word. We talked about you choreographing, but this eventually led to you starting your own company.
Oh, we digress.
No,
yes. We're moving down the rabbit holes. We're getting down the hole.
So you started a company.
Yeah, I started a company because this was in 2012. I was working on something. I was just like, oh, there's a festival. They're looking for work. I had just
come. That was the Baltimore gig, right? I feel like
Boston.
Boston. I'm like, you went somewhere on the eastern
Yes,
seaboard.
It was Boston. I submitted a duet to a dance festival out there in Boston. It got accepted. I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like, okay, so like my work is getting accepted to these places, and so I'm like, well, I'm doing this. Like, let's make this like a thing. Like I don't need you, who's next?
Yeah.
Or you to tell me, no, you cannot be in my company.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, I know you got to put in your work, your time and effort, but I don't want to be the cattle call, 500 people for you to tell me no, or you don't like the way I pointed my foot. Like I know what.
That's how I felt about acting.
Right. It's like,
right?
I know what I am. I know what I'm capable of. I'm not on a high horse. I'm always open for more training and stuff.
But I also think it's because you're not just a dancer.
I'm an artist.
It's different. Yeah, you're an artist. You're a director. You have a vision. Like that's for me. Like I'm a writer, I'm a director. So you give me a script, I got my mind goes in 1,000 places. Like, well, this could be written better, and I could just.
Yes.
And so as a kid, it was hard for me because one, there's no originality in the entertainment industry, right? You go on a cattle call, commercial audition, you in the middle of that room and you switch up how you deliver the line, everybody after you is about to do the same thing.
Exactly.
And they don't care. Casting doesn't care who originally did it. They care who best fits the look. And then they will just be like, and do it just how she did it. So I was like, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah.
Like, this is a waste of my time.
Right.
And I respect actors, but it's like, this is not.
It just very rarely gives you the opportunity to be.
It's not empowering.
Right. It doesn't allow you to be expressive enough to be your true self.
Yeah.
Because you're always going to want to fit the mold of, oh, what is this? And I guess, don't be the pot calling the kettle. But if I hold auditions or whatever, I'm not necessarily, when the times I have held auditions, everyone gets accepted. Not necessarily accepted, but if you show up to work with me, I know you have a passion and a purpose to want to dance and perform, and you about to give me your all. So come on. I've never, no, you didn't get in. No, you showed up to dance like you want to work, let's work.
You never had nobody give you a crappy audition, huh?
Well, no, I didn't say that.
I was about to say, I'm like, because you can't hide nothing. So
no, I'm not good at faking. No.
Yeah, I'm like, because there's some people, it's like.
No, but at the end of the day, you
still have the determination.
You have to respect what they're doing. Yeah. Like, here's what. this is what.
I'm gonna send somebody
No,
in as a foil.
please,
just to
no,
mess with
no,
you.
please
It's
do it.
Okay, she's holding open.
Please do it, because you
Go
know what?
ahead,
I'm about to make it do what it do. I'm from uptown New Orleans,
You
baby.
are.
We about to do it.
You're like,
Let me tell you why, though. Because as a director and as a choreographer, why would you then give someone something that does not look good on them?
Yeah.
Give them something.
Well,
If you
that-
come in
that-
like,
yeah,
oh, I don't know what to
yeah.
do, then I'm going to give you movement that look like
Yeah.
that to enhance what you know how to do.
It's so funny because I remember when this is maybe several years back, but you saw Yusef in his groove. And you
Oh,
were
gosh,
like,
he's
"Yo,
amazing.
He needs to be in the company."
Oh, man, you don't even understand what I would do with something like that.
Well, look, you can have it, and he's like 6 feet now doing
Oh
the
gosh,
same.
performance art.
Oh,
that's
my
that's
God.
like my thing. I'm like,
But that's why I said when I hit you up about movement for this video and just movement in general, like I'm down to have them do some of these movements with me, like teach them some stuff,
I've
and just
already
see what
see
they
it.
get, what they come up with, like how they deliver it is
But
perfect
you know
enough.
why it's going to be perfect?
Why?
Because first of all, I know your children, I know you.
Yeah.
But the fact is, they're going to commit to what they're
all
doing,
day.
and it's about the commitment.
All day.
Like you can't well, I think I'm gonna. No, you said can you be a ninja?
Yeah.
With some green lasers.
Yeah, they
Please,
will definitely commit.
and he's going 200.
They will definitely commit, and
200%.
especially if I explain to them like, y'all, we got to do this dance to honor Granny. Like,
Oh,
okay,
for
word.
sure.
Show us. All right.
I just caught a real vision. Oh gosh, remind
It's
me to
going
tell you the
down.
vision I just had for
Okay.
one of your storyboards for the
Okay.
whole thing.
Word. Where do you draw inspiration from?
Oh, I'm a Pisces. You're asking me this question.
Yeah. Where?
Oh,
A couple of give me 5 sources. Not like I don't need the names, but like where do you go to for inspiration? Because every artist is different.
To be honest with you, it depends on the project, and honestly, it depends on the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say also
it
I
could-
can reword the question. How does inspiration find you? Because sometimes it's not about actually going to it. Sometimes it just pops up. Like if you're thinking about some of what you feel are some of your most creative works or your best representations of yourself as an artist, how did those ideas come about?
New Orleans.
And it
comes back to the NOLA. I
Yeah.
mean, I could sit here and say, oh, well, like this artist or this music or, and then I really like, you said what was one of my most powerful pieces or, and I'm thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, it's the culture.
Yeah.
It's the culture of the city.
And when you say the culture, because I grew up in LA, but I know New Orleans culture, right? Explain to people what New Orleans, like some aspects of New Orleans culture, because everybody don't get parades. Everybody don't, like it's a whole other.
It's a whole,
world.
yeah, it's a whole mood.
It's a whole mood. Like when I first moved to New Orleans, it shocked me that there was food everywhere I went.
Oh yeah.
Like people.
Oh gosh.
Like you don't throw a party and there's no, like LA, people call it a party and you show up and there's no food.
Rod flipped out. He was like, well, let's go get something to eat. I'm like, all right, cool, we're gonna get this. He was like, where we going? He was like, I thought I was gonna get some food. I'm like, yo, we're here. He's like, we're at the gas station. I'm like,
oh yeah,
yo,
come
chill
on.
out, no judgment. He's like, what you going in and get dinner from the gas station? I'm like,
and he
yo,
tore through all of
banging po' boys.
Ryan did the same thing when he came out to New Orleans. He was like, why does the gas station have the best chicken? I'm
like, why you went to the gas station to get the food? Like,
yeah.
He was like, we can't do that where I'm from. That's why it's not.
Yeah, hot plates and
all that jazz.
Yeah. What is dance to the city? Can you like give people an idea?
Yeah, so my good dance quote is dance starts with a feeling, ends with an action, and lives in the soul. Donna Crump.
Nice.
So I wouldn't even say dance with New Orleans because it's that feeling. It's a feeling. It's not, I wouldn't even call like the what we're doing.
It's dancing.
It's dancing, of course it is. It's movement, but New Orleans it's not dance. Don't do that. It's
Africa.
a feel. Of course it is. It's
so
definitely
Africa.
a feel.
Like if y'all do not know what Africa looks like moving through your body manifested, it is what goes down in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's definitely it's the drums.
Yeah.
Which goes back to Africa. Definitely.
I also always enjoyed how New Orleans, like dance in New Orleans exists in every space. Like it's not limited to like you got to go to this show and watch people on the stage. Like it's in the streets.
It's the feel. It's gritty. It's grimy.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Like it's literally in the streets though. Like we have second lines and we have
you're in the streets.
You're in the streets. You're on cars. Like it's and it's all in the spirit of celebration. Right. Like it's not trouble unless somebody starts shooting, but it's usually not trouble. Right.
Right.
It's usually not trouble. And so for me as an artist, I think because I naturally tend to just experience life out of the box, it was wonderful for me to see dance in spaces where you don't get to see it all the time in LA or in New York. When I was growing up in LA, breakdancing was really huge. So you did see like people breakdancing and stuff, but that was for a very specific period of time. So I enjoy what it is in relationships in New Orleans. What can we look forward to from you? If you know, and if not, that's okay too. Like, is there any plans for 2021? I know like we're still in pandemic.
We are in pandemia, but
so how are you have you had an idea of how you plan to create or what you want to be doing, what you want to focus on for 2021?
I actually am working on a project.
Okay.
I don't have all of the P's and Q's of it yet, but I definitely a way for me to incorporate what's going on in the world, and what's challenged me as an artist. I definitely want to include artists from different parts of the world.
Gotcha.
And I feel like that being in pandemia has showed us that, okay, this is really more accessible than we think.
Yeah, it is.
So I think that's a highlight of it. But yeah, just trying to get my little project together so we can, get some art flowing. And really just this year is for me as a director, I want to get more into film and putting out little snippets or little, not trailers, but little mini films or mini pieces or many visuals of work versus like a proscenium dance performance.
Yeah.
Like my goal is to really like balls to the wall, create something immersive.
Okay.
Yeah, and streaming stuff. That's what I really want to like jump head first into that.
Into streaming.
Yeah.
I'm building these skill sets where, like I told you, I was like, I see where my people need the support and where it can happen. Like, I got you.
Thank you, man.
On the streaming all
Much
day.
Much appreciated.
And the production of it. Yeah, I got you. We could really play. Yeah. So it's interesting. I typically just breeze through Houston, driving through Texas, or coming back from Cali, driving through Texas. But this is like the first time that I've been here for like a few days, and it's very clear to me that I will be making return trips because it's ridiculous to me that you've been out here 3 years and I haven't. This is my first time coming to visit you. So
I have been forging my own space out here.
Yeah, I get it.
No, but I appreciate the visit.
Oh yeah,
because it's been needed for sure.
Yeah, no problem. I'm looking forward to return visits and kind of like seeing what you're up to. You will probably be a return visitor to the podcast. This is the very beginning stages, so production value is at minimal, which sometimes for me, like that's a good thing.
Yes,
I don't need to be going crazy. But as the podcast grows, it'll be cool to see what some of my friends are doing, where their growth is happening.
And your growth as well.
Yeah, they get to see
you all the time. Yeah. They want something new.
This is more like, getting them exposed to other people. Because people always hit me up and ask me like, well, how do you do this? Or how did you know how to do this? It's like, I just
did it.
Go out in the world and I do it. And I meet people and it's relationships, it's a network. It's, it's all kinds. Like the show I threw in my house.
Oh man!
Yeah, like literally, these are the things that you need to be thinking about as an artist if you're trying to like run your own grind. The show I threw in my house, that really and truthfully, I threw it because I could charge a little money at the bar and I'd have some money to fly to Europe with. right? But I aligned it up for the day our building was having
The grand
its
opening.
citywide grand opening. So there was press there. The building probably had like several hundred people circulating through it. And I had just moved into this apartment, no furniture in it, and we threw like a.
It was a dope.
That's when
house
I met
party.
Christian. Actually.
That is.
So I met Christian Scott that night. He was trickling through
visiting.
the halls visiting Donna, and I walked past him and like, yo, I'm about to be performing, and it's so funny. I don't know if you ever talked to him about this, but he was like, yo, it was crazy because like you walked up in like this dress, like I'm gonna be performing. He's like, cause I'm thinking like, oh, she about to like do some jazz.
Yes, I remember.
He thought I was like like a jazz singer or something.
And what's crazy is that night after we left your apartment, we went back to my apartment and Rock comes down randomly with his guitar and his sticks and he just starts going in and we have a whole freaking jam session.
It was a fun night. But I remember you and Christian sitting like to the right, like in front to the right, like right by like where my little table used to be.
This is a true story.
And I remember we got started because he kind of looked confused when he came into the place and he saw Pudge. He saw like the turntable. So he was like, oh, okay, like word. And then he just sits there. And this is before I knew who Christian Scott was, which if you know me, doesn't matter. But I'm just saying it's funny in my head because I have no idea who's sitting right there. And him and Dee come in with a couple other people. Maybe.
No, it was just me and him.
It was just you two? Okay. And they were cutting up. I don't know if you remember.
Were we?
Y'all were having a good ass time. Y'all were giving me life because
this is so us. Of
just
course
because
we were.
I swooped to like I did like a broad cross section of people. It's not necessarily people who like rock with your genre, right? And there's certain people who like.
I mean, Amy was there.
Yeah, it was
Karen's
Mary,
right?
Like Stephanie.
Stop. Yeah, it was random.
Yeah, so it was super rando. Like the youngest person in the building was my nephew Samuel. He was 2.
Damn.
And the oldest person in the building was like 70, right? And I'm just doing straight bars in like a dress, an unpaired dress.
Something.
But I remember
it was fly though.
Christian was just like, what the fuck? So for him, what he told me after, he was like, yo, that totally threw me off. He's like, I honestly thought like you about to sing. He's like, not to like, no offense, but I thought you were about to sing. He's like, and then you start going in. He's like, it reminded me of Brooklyn. And I was like, word. And that was like, so with the podcast, like that's the kind of vibe that I want. Like there needs to be more spaces like that. And I'm excited when.
And look at the spaces you create to then recreate the meetings of all of these great individuals and great artists and how they're full circle in the world, but then in the world of your life.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a small world.
It's totally small.
And the internet makes it even smaller.
That's out.
Yeah. But I definitely can say 2022, you can almost be certain that there will be a South American, Central American tour.
What?
So if that's a
well, if you need some,
yes,
some movements, you
yes,
know.
Ma'am. Yes, that is all. Just putting that on your radar.
It's already on. Passport's ready to go.
Putting that on the radar because basically the content that we're creating, the stuff that we collaborate on, that is all priming the audience for what will be happening at the live show in some
lovely. I love
or
it.
fashion.
I love it.
So this year for me is really about like honoring and returning to some of my roots in dance.
Which you've done so beautifully.
Oh, I think, girl, it's been so long.
I
was thinking about it.
Rob was like, man, voice moved pretty good. I'm like, well, yeah, she did a little dancing in high school.
I went to bed last night and I was like, I have not danced in so fucking long.
But think about how much it opened up for you. Think about
opening. Like it's about to it's really opening. It's what I needed. For me, it's been hard because.
I mean, like the energy wise.
Oh, yeah. For me, it's been hard because I find New Orleans to be a hard dance city for adult dancers. Now, I feel like there's a lot of programs for
You mean like for classes and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only really like.
Yeah. Like when I first moved to New Orleans, I was desperate, and it was different then too. It was like 2004, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I was desperately looking for adult classes.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually like, you're actually saying a true statement because it's mostly like ballet for adults.
And I'm not like interested in ballet.
Yeah, if you just want like dance fit or like or modern dance beginning. Yeah,
modern
you don't
dance,
really
there
have.
Was really nothing. Like
yeah,
the first
nothing
10
really.
years I was there, 20
To
I
be
wanna
honest
say-
with you, name one right now. You can't.
Good Dance.
Ain't-
And you
right, and I'm in Houston, right.
That's it. That's why when we met, I was like, word. And it wasn't like, oh, I dance. It was like, I dance and then I see, oh, she dance. Like,
Right.
that's what I liked about Maritza. It's like, I know she's cold. So it's like, okay, word. So when she referred you, I was like, she's probably cold.
She danced when I did my first thing at Blue Plate. It wasn't the grand opening, but she danced in that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was for. Was it a fundraiser or just it was just a
they were
little
doing-
show. I just did
yeah.
a show to say, hey, I'm here in the neighborhood. Like,
Yeah, promoting.
yeah,
Um,
that's dope. Yeah, we definitely did live shows in Blue Plate.
Yes, we did. Because I definitely
Thank God
got
for Blue
a
Plate.
notice from management about a drums playing at 11:30 at night.
That's out of control. Just go to bed.
Yeah, it's just
We're
like,
artists.
It's
Like,
an
stop.
artist loft. It's on the name of the building.
We're making art.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think they would die to have that first group of artists back. We caught the wave
And waved on out.
All right, well, that's about it. Like I told you, it's pretty harmless. It's literally just a conversation.
Totally.
Easy breezy. I will catch you next time I'm back in Houston for an episode of the podcast, or when you come back to New Orleans, if there's anything, we can always do a home edition. Because typically, I
it's
do
in your
this
house.
over
Food, yeah.
But you know,
It's all
we're
good.
doing our thing.
I'm gonna try to get back down there for spring break,
Yeah, that'll be a good time.
like March.
You rubbing that mic?
Oh, am I?
Probably. It's all right. I'm not going to have this on here. Let people know where to find you.
Oh, you can find me. What, like the address and stuff?
Online, ho.
Oh, I'm like,
what's wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm
At Good Dance is like where your handle, Donna. Where online can the people find you?
Okay, online on Instagram. My handle is at Good Dance 1984. That's at Good Dance 1984 on Instagram, on Facebook.
Website?
What is my website? Oh, hi. Hello. Website is www.gooddancesince1984.com.